Awesome parents. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to me. I formally welcome you to the onboarding session of the Fluent Readers Boot Camp. I am so delighted to have you here today, and I'm absolutely excited to be your guide and facilitator throughout this transformative journey. So, if you're listening to me, that means you have registered for the 30 days Fluent Readers Boot Camp. But if you're coming across this video by a share of luck, I really hope that you register for this because it's going to be an amazing experience for you and your children. So let me take a moment to introduce myself to you in case you're meeting me for the very first time. I am Suliat Ayobami Oladipo and I wear lots of hats. I wear them beautifully and gracefully. Yes, I have an experienced early years educator. I'm a reading specialist, I'm a parent coach, a literacy expert, and the founder of Bill's Parenting Hub. I am so passionate about giving children a good head start in life. And over the years, I've had the privilege of working with hundreds of parents, equipping them with the knowledge and strategies to teach their children to read with ease. Additionally, I have conducted training sessions in schools, empowering educators to enhance their students' reading skills. Enough about me. Let's focus on you. Yes, you amazing parent that is listening to me today. I am beyond excited about your participation in this boot camp. It shows that you're an amazing parent and it shows that you're dedicated and committed to helping your children become confident and fluent readers. Your decision to be here today is a testament to your love and commitment to your child's education. A big kudos to you. And I want to assure you that you have made the right decision. You are in the right place. Whether you want to foster the love of reading in your children or you want to ensure that they read early, or you have a struggling learner, a struggling reader that you want to fast track the reading process, you are in the right place. All right. So I'm here to support you every step of the way. I'm here to provide guidance. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to cheer you on as you witness the incredible progress your child will make. So once again, I am welcoming you to the 30 days Fluent Readers Boot Camp. I want you to get ready to be amazed, to be inspired and empowered. This is going to be an awesome experience for you. I promise you that. And I cannot wait to see the wonderful results you are going to get. Okay, the wonderful result we are going to achieve together. So I want you to give yourself a round of applause. Yes, for joining this boot camp and committing to your child's reading success. So before we dive into the onboarding session properly, I want you to do away with any form of distraction. I want you to get your writing materials, your notepad, your pen, and take as much note as possible. Because this onboarding session, I'm going to show you how the challenge, how the boot camp is going to run, all the information you need to know, and the method we are going to be using. So you really need to take notes. I hope you have done that. Let me give you a few minutes to do that. All right. I hope your writing material is ready. Okay. So what is the purpose of this boot camp? Why do I say, okay, I want to start a 30-day boot camp for parents, okay, for parents and their children? What's the purpose? So my aim is to see your child become a fluent, confident, and enthusiastic reader by empowering you, the parents, to become confident guides in your child's reading journey. And I believe that by providing you with the right tools, with the right knowledge and support, you can help your child develop strong literacy skills that will set them up for a lifetime of success. Yes, reading that powerful. Reading is one of the, reading skill is one of the important skill that children need. A child that cannot read properly will struggle with their academics. So it is a very important skill. And that is my main aim of organizing this boot camp, and I really hope that you make good use of it. Okay, now you may be wondering, what benefit and transformation should I be expecting from this boot camp? Let me tell you, by the end of those 30 days, if you commit to the process, yes, you have to be committed. You have to participate in your own rescue mission, okay? If you participate, you are active, you participate actively, by the end of this 30 days boot camp, you're going to witness remarkable progress in your child's reading abilities. Yes, your children will become fluent, they will become confident, they will love reading. Okay, you will see their vocabulary expand. Their comprehension skills will sharpen and their love for books will flourish. Isn't that amazing? I want you to imagine the joy in your child's face as they effortlessly read their favorite storybooks. They are able to confidently tackle new words. I want you to picture the sense of accomplishment that they will feel when they no longer struggle with reading assignments at school. This boot camp is designed to unlock this bootcamp is designed to unlock their full reading potential and open the doors to a world of knowledge and imagination. But I want you to remember this bootcamp is not about your child's transformation alone. It's also about your growth as a parent. Yes, you heard that right. You are going to gain valuable insights into effective teaching strategies. So that's why I told you that this bootcamp is valuable to you. Even if you have never taught any child before, you will learn effective teaching strategies in this bootcamp. Okay, you're going to learn how to create engaging reading experiences. You will develop a deeper connection with your child. Yes, as you're teaching your child, as you're reading to them, or as you're performing, carrying out all the tasks, it will deepen your connection with your child. That is it. And the bond you will create during this journey will be so priceless. Can you see that? So let's talk about the structure and the duration. Okay, the structure and the duration. So each day, so from tomorrow onwards, you are going to receive a carefully curated set of tasks and activities that are designed to enhance your child's reading skills. So these tasks, they are not meant to weary you. They are not meant to overwhelm you. They are not meant to be time consuming. They are designed to be enjoyable and seamlessly integrated into your daily routine. Okay, the daily task I'm going to be giving you, they will include a combination of phonics exercise, vocabulary building, reading aloud session, interactive games, and creative activities. Okay, and it won't take you more than 10 minutes, maximum of 10 minutes, you are done. You have 24 hours in a day. So maximum of 10 minutes, you are done with the task. All right. So you are going to receive detailed instructions and materials to support you in carrying out this task with your child. So another thing I want you to know is that consistency is very important. Okay, consistency is very important in this boot camp. You cannot achieve all the amazing results that I've been talking about if you are not consistent. So you want to dedicate just few minutes each day to this task. And when you do this, you're setting the foundation for your child's reading success. So I want you to make it a priority to incorporate this task into your daily routine. It could be during playtime with your children. It could be during bedtime. It could be very early in the morning before they go to school. All right? Or it could be any other suitable time that works for you and your child, whatever rocks your boat. Another thing I want you to know is that I want you to know that you have to be committed. Okay, you have to be committed. Your commitment is very important. Your dedication to participating in the daily task and providing the necessary support to your child, it will yield incredible results. So please, all some parents, you have sacrificed your money, you have sacrificed your time to be here. I want you to sacrifice few minutes every day to carry out the task. Okay, so as we embark on this 30-day adventure, I want you to be prepared for exciting breakthroughs and moments of pride. Yes, you're going to be so proud of your child as you witness your child's reading skills flourish. I'm assuring you of that. In fact, before day 10, you would have seen amazing results. Remember, you have to participate actively. That is when this will be your reality. So another thing I want you to know is that as you're witnessing this transformation in your children, I want you to make it a big deal. I want you to celebrate it, okay? I want you to reinforce it, no matter how small. I want you to encourage your child along the way. The transformation that will occur within this relatively short 30 days, boot camp. is going to be remarkable. So get ready. If you need to get stickers, if you need to give them high fives, biscuits, sweets, anything, it's okay. Okay. And another thing I want you to know is this reading boot camp is not just about teaching your child to read. It's about nurturing a love for reading. It's about building confidence. It's about fostering a lifelong skill. Okay. So let's look at the reading categories. Reading categories. So, I said it that when I was advertising this boot camp, I mentioned that whatever, even if you have a 1.5 year old child, this boot camp is for you. So I want to give you a breakdown of the different categories that we have. Okay, and each of this category is specifically designed to cater to the unique needs and the abilities of different age groups. So the first category, we have the little explorers, we have the boardroom readers, we have the page turners, and we have the reading champions. So the little explorer is for children within the age range 18 months to 3 years. The boardroom readers is 3 to 5, page turners 5 to 7, reading champions 7 years and above. So whether your child is 8 year old, 9 year old, 10 year old, this group 4 is perfectly fine for them. So let me give you more explanation about each of the categories. So the category one, that is the little explorers. So in this category, we are going to focus on building a strong foundation for language and communication skills. So when we talk about literacy, the ability of a child to read and write, okay, the first thing you'd want to do with a child is not to start giving a child book and say, start reading. It doesn't make sense, right? The same way that you cannot just give your child a pencil and you expect the child to start writing 1, 2, 3, ABC. There are some things that you need to do. It's just like if you want to build a house, you don't just buy blocks or you ask people to mold blocks for you and you start putting it on the land. It's not going to work, right? So you first want to lay a strong foundation. And then you now start building blocks, you now start building it, and you get a whole house. The same thing is applicable to teaching your child to read or teaching your child to write or whatever skills you want to teach your child. You want to lay the foundation. And that foundation is what we call the early literacy, what we call the pre-reading skills. So pre-reading skills, you want to build your child's communication skills. You want to develop their language skills. You want to teach them lyric sounds. You want to improve their vocabulary. So those are the things that you need to do on the pre-reading skills. And that is what we're going to be doing in this category one. The little explorers, that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at the ways you can build your child. Even if your 18-month-old child is not talking, it will really help them. It will help them. Or if they have started talking a bit, they are saying 2 or 3 few words, it will improve. Yes, I'm telling you, it's going to improve. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay, the goal is to introduce them to the world of sounds, letters, early vocabulary, and we are going to do that through fun and interactive activities. So I tell you that you should be ready to be blown away. I have amazing packages for you. So let's look at the second category, and that is the boarding readers. So this is for children within the age bracket 3 to 5 years. So here we're going to go to the next step in their reading journey. All right, we'll focus on developing their phonemic awareness, letter recognition, blending, basic reading skills like blending 2, 3 letter words. That's what we're going to do here. And we're going to do these using engaging activities, stories. We're going to use it to spark their curiosity and love for reading. All right. And the next category is the page turners. So this is for children within the age bracket 5 to 7. So in this category, we are going to build on their existing reading skills. We're going to expand their vocabulary. So here they are not going to be blending 3 letter words. We are going to go into consonant blends. We're going to go into digraphs, trigraphs, and they will use it to read. We would teach them this blending and they will start using it to form sentences and to write sentences, all right? And they're going to be, there's going to be reading aloud and all. Then the next category, and that is the okay, I think I've talked about the boarding readers. I've talked about the page turners. So the next category is the reading champions. So this category of children, they already know how to read. All right, maybe they are going to learn some rules, okay, some spelling rules. They are going to read. They are going to expand their vocabulary. Okay, this is designed to, to take their reading skills to the next level. So we are going to focus on building fluency, comprehension, critical thinking abilities. We're going to dive deeper into chapter of books. You will engage in conversations, deeper discussions. They are going to we'll give them a passage to read sometimes. They will have to answer questions, they will summarize it, they will talk about, we are going to build their public speaking skills as well. And in this process, we will develop a greater love for reading. Isn't this amazing? I know you are like, oh, let's start already. Yes, yes. That's the kind of thing I wanted to, the kind of experience I wanted to have. And I need to tell you that we have tailored this approach, our approach in such a way that each category, we have kind of tailored our approach in each category to ensure that the activities and tasks are age appropriate and they are aligned with their developmental milestones. I am an educator, an early years educator, and I'm a reading specialist. So I already factor all these into the categories. So this way we can effectively nurture their reading abilities and provide them with the right tools and strategies for success. Now, I need to tell you this. Regardless of your child's age, we have a category that will suit their needs and help them progress on their reading journey. So if you are still thinking whether you should register for this boot camp, I tell you there is something for everyone. Okay, there is something for everyone. Now, I also need to mention that this category, they are not set in stone. Your child could be in the second or the third category, the paid turners, and they cannot read yet. There are situations like that. If you know your child capability, you know that they cannot read yet, you can put them in the second category for age 3 to 5. All right. So if you think your child is 7 year old or your child is 6 year old and they already can read fluently, they already know the digraphs, the trigraphs, you may need to carry out the task for group 4. I hope you understand that. So if you need more clarification, you can always message me. I'm going to be there for you. Now that you have an understanding of the different reading categories, let's move forward and explore the key concepts. Okay? The key concept and approach that we're going to be using in the Fluent Readers Boot Camp. So when it comes to reading, there are different methods. Okay? There are different methods of teaching children to read. We have the rote memorization method. That's how a lot of us, in fact, most of us here, that's how we learn to read. The traditional method whereby you learn the alphabet, they read for you, you memorize the words. There is the phonics method, and that is what we're going to be using here. Then there is the reading by word shape. It's not really common here. So the two are common, the phonics method and the rote memorization. So like I said, we are going to be focusing on the phonics. So phonics is a method of teaching reading that emphasizes the relationship between the letters and the sounds. So it's a method of teaching children to read by the sounds that letters make. So we're not going to be using A, B, C, D, even though we're going to use that later. But we're going to be focusing on sounds. A, B, K, D, E, F, G, A, J, K, L, M, N, apple, and so on and so forth. That's what we're going to be focusing on. And this approach has proven to be highly effective in helping children become confident readers. Let me give you a very practicable example. For if you're using rote memorization, the traditional method of reading, some schools still use that presently. If that is what you're using, if you're a teacher or you're a parent, and that's what you use to teach your learners, okay, for a child to be able to read 100 words, the child has to memorize 100 words. But for phonics, if you teach your child just the first group, the sounds in, the satapin, if you teach your child or learner that with that sound and you teach them how to blend, the child can blend like 30 words, even words that they have not seen before. Just teach them the methods of blending and they will be able to read it. Isn't that fantastic? That is why this method is proven to be very, very effective. I tell you, even a diaper wearing toddler can learn to read. Yes, I have seen 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old children reading. It's very, very possible. Okay, it depends on the training you give to your child. So That is why it is important. It's an amazing method. So phonics allow children to decode words independently, and it expands their reading capability. Okay, so when it comes to reading with phonics, it is actually divided into the following steps. Okay, reading with phonics is divided into these steps. The letter sounds. They are going to learn the letter sounds. There are about 42 to 44 letter sounds. They're going to learn letter formation. Okay, they will learn how to form the letters. That is writing, teaching them to write. They're going to also learn blending and segmenting. Okay, and the last one is the tricky word. So I'm going to run you through this process briefly. So you're going to be needing this information when we start the boot camp properly. So let's look at the first step, and that is the learning their sounds. So these are the groupings that you're seeing on the screen: the group one, group two, group three, group four, group five, group six, group seven. So you're going to teach them group one first. When you teach them the sound, after they have learned, they learn how to pronounce, they learn the recognition, they are able to recognize the sound, the six sounds, then you can proceed to blending. Yes, start blending two, three letter words. Don't worry, I'm going to show you that. Then you take them through group two, group three. So after group three, that is when you will now introduce them to letter names, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Then you can now proceed to group five, group six, group seven. So that is that about that. So let me quickly pronounce those sounds for you. So if you need a video, if you don't really know much about the sound, you can message me, or you can drop a comment in the group, and I'm going to share some of my resources with you that could really help you. So the first group is Satapin. Letter S says S. Letter A says A. Letter T says T. Letter I says E, as in ink. Letter P says P, parrot, pig. Letter N says So when you're teaching children this, you're going to use a multi-sensory approach. By that I mean, when you introduce it to them, you're going to make use of flashcards. You're going to make flashcards. I told you when I was giving you the list of resources you need, I mentioned cardboard, I mentioned marker, permanent marker, and the one that is not permanent. So you can actually get these flashcards in stores, people that sell educational resources, and you can also improvise. You can make by yourself. What you just need is you need scissors to cut cardboard into desired shape, and use your permanent marker to write on it. You can laminate it. You can use transparent sellotape, to cover it so that it's durable. We are dealing with children. They can put it in their mouth. They may want to tear it. So when you do this, it will be more durable, and you start using it. Okay. So when you're teaching, you make use of flashcard. You can sing songs. There are standard jollyphonic song. All right. You can tell story. You can teach them with the actions. Yes, it's very important. So that is a multi-sensory. You're flashing a card, you may sing songs. Sometimes you may not need to sing song all the time, and you can show them the action. I'm going to share the video of the actions with you later. So I hope you get that. So if your child belongs to group one and group two, so for group two, we're going to look at the first group. Okay, in the next couple of days, the art of April, we are going to use it to form words, two-letter words, three-letter words, and sentences. All right, and that's what we're going to do till we get to group three. All right, so if your child belongs to the page turners, we're going to be looking at the group four, the age. O, I says I, E says E, as in C, B, O R says R, as in burn, as in corn. Group 5 is W, N, V, U, J, X, Ch, Sh. Don't worry. I'm going to give you resources, and when we get to that, I'm going to tell you how to go about that. So the next step is the letter formation. All right. So the thing about this is we teach others, we go through the steps simultaneously. So one thing I didn't tell you that I'm going to give you as a gift for being here is, as you're teaching your children to read, you're teaching them to write those things. Yes, that's inventive writing. Okay, so this is letter formation. That's the second step in the Jolly Phonics. And this letter formation, before you start teaching your children to write letters or to write numbers, whatever they are writing, we call something the preliminaries. Okay, There are some shapes, the writing shapes that they need to learn, and that's all is on the screen. Immediately you teach them, if they are able to, they know all this, they're able to write, there is nothing that they cannot write. There is, name it, be it number, be it letter, be it shape, they will be able to write it with this writing language that you're seeing on the screen. So the first one is the forward slant. If your child wants to write capital letter A, they need this. You just tell the child a slant, another slant, a dash in the middle, and that's letter A. For letter B, a stroke. All right. So let me continue. Let me not model everything together. So the first one is the slant. All right. There is no way to go anyhow. You can first teach them the stroke. You can first teach them the dash, whatever rocks your boat. So the first one here is the forward slant, all right, or just call it slant. The second one is dash, dash. The third one is also slant, but this one is the backward slant. Then the next one is a stroke. All right, you want to teach your child to write a B. I mean the lowercase letter B. So you add that, tell the child a stroke and a cough, and that is B. Then the next one is upper curve. Upper curve, they're going to be needing it. Then we have the downward curve. Then we have the curve. You can call it the backward curve or the left curve. And the last one is the front curve, or you can call it the right curve. So you're going to take time to teach your children this, or your learners, if you're a teacher and you're listening to me. So when you teach them this, that's the first thing you teach them. So if you teach your children to do this and you put them through some pre-writing activities, you will never have the reason or the cause to hold a child down to write. It's totally wrong to hold a child down to write. Teach them through the proper process. Take them through the proper steps, and they'll be able to write without you holding their hands. All right. So that's one thing I wanted to know. So I forgot to mention something before I go to letter formation. So when you're teaching letters, there are ways by which there are different activities, interesting activities that you can use to teach them to recognize those sounds, because they need it for them to be able to read. I didn't remember to mention that, so I just remember now. So one of the things you can do, I mentioned flashcards. So you want to have a flashcard session with your child. Just cut cardboards and put those sounds there. So after teaching after introducing the sound to your child in the morning, you can just put it around the house. You can put it around even in the kitchen when you're having a walk, when you're in during playtime. You just flash it to them. So this is it. Bah, bah, bah. This is ah, ah, ah. This is, those are the things you can do. All right. Another thing you can do is to play I spy. You can say I spy a little something that starts with P, and you let your child find things that start with that sound. So I spy an object that starts with P. So let your child go around to find objects around the house that start with P. It could be pants, pots, pan, pencil, wherever. So those are the activities that you can bring in. You can also draw this letter, on a plain sheet, and you ask them to color it. To color it, and as they're coloring, they are mentioning, they are singing, they are mentioning, they are pronouncing the sound. Another thing you can do is to make a collage. That's a fun activity, and it will even help with their fine motor skills. You can give them paper. Children love to play with, they love to shred paper, and that's a good fine motor activity. So let them shred papers into pieces, provide gum for them, or you can gum that thing that you have draw, that one that you draw on the plain sheet. Then ask them to make a collage of that letter. When your child do this, they'll be able to remember the sounds. Okay, they'll be able to remember the sound. So there are lots of things like that. So let's continue with the letter formation. So after you have introduced your child, so doing this, you can introduce, you can get a sand tray. Okay, children love to play with powdery substances. It could be sand, it could be yam fly, it could be gari. Okay, if you're using sand, make sure you sieve it so that you can remove objects that can harm them, maybe like broken bottles or stuff like that. So you get all those things, you trace it, you show them this is how to write slant, slant. Your child does the same thing. So when your child has perfected how to make a slant on the sand tray or gari tray, you can now proceed to using pencil and paper. And when they have now perfected all this writing language, then it's time to teach them to write. So if you want to write for example, so you tell the child, write a cough, take it up, down, that's a cough. So a cough and a stroke. You want to write B, a stroke and a cough. That's B. You want to write D. You write a backward cough or a left cough and a stroke. I hope that is taken. The same thing is applicable to numbers. To write 1, you just tell them write a stroke. To write 2, write a cough and a dash. Isn't that interesting? When you do this, writing becomes so much more easier for your child. So let's move to the next step, and that is blending and segmenting. They go hand in hand. So blending is the process of saying the sounds in a word and running them together to make the word. Okay, so this simply means the child is connecting the sound. So for example, it becomes ba. Ka becomes ka. The becomes da. Ka to cat. Ra to rats. Is that taken? So can you see that on the screen? When they run it together, it becomes rats. So segmenting, on the other hand, is the ability to break words down into individual sounds. That is how children develop phonemic awareness. So you can just tell your child, rats. Can you tell me the sounds in rats? And your child listens, rat. What did you hear first? The child says, rrr. What did you hear again? Rat. The child says, rats. What sound did you hear? T. So, rats. You know, when you put them through this blending and segmenting exercises, they are able to develop their phonemic awareness, which helps them in reading. Okay, so blending is very essential. It's a very essential skills, in helping a child develop reading skills. So once your child knows a couple of simple sounds, such as the setup in the group 1, it is time to introduce them to blending. Blending of simple sounds, blending sounds into simple words. So what are the items you need for blending? You need to make flashcards of 2 and 3 letter words. Just cut cardboard papers and write on them with a permanent marker. You can also print them. I'm going to give you resources. Okay, I got you. I'm going to give you resources, like plain sheet that you can print out. Sorry, words that you can print out. You just cut it out. And if you do not have a printer, or you don't have all those shops near you, you can just write them. You can make them yourself. You bring in your creativity, and you just do that. All right. Another thing you need for blending is movable letters, all those magnetic letters. I mentioned it, I put it in the items you need to get. So it's not compulsory actually, but it is okay. I would advise you to get it. It's very effective in helping children develop the skills of blending and segmenting, because it's interesting. As they are putting they are putting it on the white marker board, you stick there. So you can ask the child, "Yeah, I wanted to use your movable letters to form cat," and the child is speaking it k. Actor. It's very interesting for them. So I really, really advise you to get it. Okay, another thing you need is a white marker board. All right. I wrote this for you already. A white marker board, or all those magic boards, all those small, small boards that is sold for children. You can get that. You can also use notebook. Okay. So if you do not have you don't have a marker, a white marker board currently, you don't have a magic board. Instead of you say, "Oh, I'm not going to do any task." No, that's not an excuse. You can just use notes. You can get a new note for your child. In fact, I would advise everyone to get a new note for this boot camp. All right, where you're putting the task, and you're putting the task for your child or for your children if you have more than one. Okay, so those are the items that you're going to need. Did I mention marker? Of course, that's a given. You need marker. You need permanent marker. You need the normal marker, non-permanent. Permanent marker is for writing, for creating the flashcards. Because if you use the normal marker, it's going to fade off. All right. So you need the non-permanent markers for the white marker board. Yes, for the white marker board and for the magic board. I hope that is taken. So, what are the things you need to do daily to make this teaching sounds or blending easy for you, and to achieve amazing results? To achieve amazing results, there are some things that you need to do. So when you're teaching, let's say you're teaching, whether it is sounds, whether it is blending, you want to teach. So you teach the child, you practice, then you apply it. So let's say you have taught your child letter sound, maybe like 3 sounds or 6 sounds. You apply. Application could mean using it to blend 2 3 letter words or 4 letter words. Application could be after they have learned to read 3 letter words, 2 letter words, you can form it, you can use those words to form phrases or sentences for them to read. So the next day, they have learned something. So the next day, you want to revisit, do a revision of what they learned yesterday. Then you teach a new concept, you practice and you apply. That's what you do. Okay, practice previously learned letters, practice oral blending. I need to say that one of the things we're going to be doing for children in the Little Explorers category is oral blending. Even before your child learn to blend at all, you need to do oral blending. Maybe you're in the kitchen, you can just tell your child, this is pot, pot. Your child is learning before you even introduce you show your child what letter P looks like. Your child already know, you are tuning their ear to sounds. So P, you can say P at a pot. This is cat. The cat is K at a cat, R at a rat, M at a mat. Do lots of oral blending. So if you have an 18-month-old, start doing it. You have a 2-year-old, start doing it. A 3-year-old, start doing oral blending with them. Okay? Do oral blending, do oral segmentation, and do this. It's very important. Then the next day, you teach a new letter, you teach blending and segmenting with the letters. Okay, then you can teach 1 or 2 tricky words. Don't worry, I'm going to explain what tricky words means to you. Then you practice reading or spelling with a new letter. That is the daily criteria that can really get you amazing results. So how do you teach blending? The first thing is start from simple to complex. That's what we do in education. You start from simple, then you start building on that concept. So you want to start with 2 letter words. Maybe you have been saying CVVs, you don't know what it means. I'm going to tell you today. Okay, CV means consonant vowels. So when you combine consonant sounds with vowel sounds, and VC means vowel consonants. So consonant vowels, when you say ba, that's ba, ba, sa, ra, si, si, po, go, do. You may be wondering, you may be like, oh, Raha doesn't make any meaning, but I tell you, still teach your child. When they start reading long words, it will be very easy for them because those are the words, the CV, they are mostly at the beginning of words. For example, if your child wants to spell robots, do you see that? Oh, so if you did not teach them all the CV before, they may be finding it difficult. So most parents, one of the complaints I hear from parents most of the time is, oh, my child finds it difficult to read long words. What can I do? So if you have taught them the CV, even though it doesn't make any sense, like sir, sir, but I tell you that it will make sense when you start teaching them 3 letters. So if your child already knows sir, so I is sir. When you put at the back, sat, sat, it becomes very easy. Ra and t, it becomes rat. Does that make sense to you? Give me a thumbs up if you're getting value from this onboarding session. Give me a thumbs up in the chat box. All right, so the next step is to introduce them to, and you do this simultaneously, all right? The VC, the CV. We are talking about 2 letters here. So the VC is the vowel consonant, like letter U says as an umbrella. It's not U, no, it's apple, up. Oh, I wish I can show my face. Maybe I'll do that some other time so that you can see the how I'm the shape of my mouth on how to pronounce those words. Because a lot of time children the mistake the U and letter O, but there is a way to pronounce them. So the next one is on, in, at, an, as. Introduce this blending to them. Practice. Drill them till they can blend perfectly. Remember, we are not memorizing. We want to teach them to blend effectively. So when they can now blend two letter sounds, they already know the sound, they will be able to blend. So you can then move to CVC words. That is consonant, vowel, consonants, three-letter blending. All right. For example, the ig, that's dig. So if you have already taught your child the E before, you don't even need to say the three sound. You only need to say dig, dig. All right. Ma'ani, man. Ma'an, man. Pot, pot. Ka'apa, cup. Ta'aba, tub. Okay. Lots and lots of words like that. So that's how to introduce blending to your children. So another thing I want to mention is switch up things when you're teaching. Try practicing with and without visuals. You can do oral blending. You can sometimes bring in picture cards or items around. You can show your child a pot and just blend. And you can, you show them the flashcard and you'd ask them to sometimes match it together. You can switch between teaching them with flashcards and teaching with magnetic board. Today you can decide to just use magnetic sounds, or movable letters, or yes, magnetic letters, all those ABC, plastic or wood or wherever it is made of. Okay. So you can use it to teach today to make it interesting and not boring. You want to make it interesting. Fred Marshall says, whatever you learn with pleasure, you never forget. I so much love that quote. So switch up things. Today you may decide to use marker on a white marker board. Tomorrow you can decide to use flashcards. Tomorrow you could just use picture cards. Tomorrow, do a lot of bring in your creativity and make it interesting for these children. Remember, we are aiming at engaging and arousing the interest of the child. So when you make learning fun, the child will want to repeat the learning experience and they will be asking you to come and teach them. Because remember here, this is a no beating zone. Do you remember I'm a parent coach? You don't beat when you're teaching a child. You want to, when a child is not getting something, beating is not the solution. You want to think of using another method. Switch up things. Okay, if my child is not getting, what if I teach the child the action? You already show your child that is, like you're dropping off something, touching your arm, and is, making the sound of a snake, and is like you're watching the tennis game. You can use that sound, you can tell your child that, so what word is this? I use that for my learners and my children lots of time. So remember, make it fun and interesting. And I tell you, you will not have issues of, oh, my child is not ready to learn. Oh, my child is crying when I say it's time for learning. Because they are going to have fun. All right. So please switch up things that make the lessons interesting. As we proceed with the boot camp, I'm going to share other tips with you. Okay, so let me tell you, as simple as this process of blending looks to you, we are adults here. It looks so simple, but I tell you, it can be difficult for some kids to grasp. Yes, it can be difficult. So you have to be patient with your child. See, if you're teaching preschoolers, you're teaching children, whether you're a parent, whether you're a teacher, one of the core skills, one of the core attributes that you need to possess is patience. You have to be extremely patient with them. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated. You'll be frustrated easily. You may end up abusing your children. You may end up hitting them. You may end up saying abusive words to them. You may end up, affecting their self-esteem negatively. We have seen situations whereby the child will say, you are so dull. And the children, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And they start seeing themselves as dull. And they don't want to make effort again. I know you don't want that to happen to your child. So you have to be very patient. Like one of my coaches used to say, you have to get your humility apparel. What we call agbada in Yoruba language is a very big clothes that men wear, that our men wear. It's very, very big. So you have to put it on, figuratively. Put it on. You have to be extremely patient with them. If your child is not getting it, maybe your child, take away any form of distraction. You may need to switch up things. You may want to turn it to songs. You may dance, body movement so that it becomes interesting for them again. You may need to take a short break. You have to do something interesting or maybe go outside to receive fresh air and you can come back. All right. And it's, like I told you, this task, it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes. You can break it into chunks, like every 3 minutes or 5 minutes. You have to consider your child's attention span. So let me teach you what attention span is. So for every child, to calculate the attention span is times your child's age times 2 to, no, times like, times, is it 4 to 6? I'm going to tell you that later. So let's say your child is, I think, is it 2 to 4 or 2 to 6? I've actually forgotten. So you have to consider your child's attention span. So now there are some times that parents come to me and they're like, even some educators, like I have a learner in my class, or I have my child already know the sounds perfectly, but my child cannot still blend. So what are the reasons why some children have difficulty blending? Okay? The number one reason is they don't know the sound well enough. Or sometimes you're not teaching them the correct sounds. For example, some people will be putting all at the back of the sound. You have to pronounce or teach your children the sounds as pure as possible. For example, it is b, it's not bo, it's not ku. Some people say ku. Two, imagine you teach a child a letter, C says ku. And you now ask the child to blend ku, ati. What would the child say? The child will say ku, ati, kuat. It will not give them cats. So teach them the sounds as pure as possible. All right. You may need to revise sounds with your child regularly with the aid of flashcards, with the aid of rhymes, with the aid of actions, with the aid of letter games. Make use of every available opportunity. It could be during bath time, it could be during playtime. Just flash the sounds or the magnetic letters that I encourage you to get. Okay, learning time, it could be during learning time. You do all these things to ensure the teaching is stored in their long memory. For learning to occur, it needs to be, repetition has to happen. You have to repeat and repeat and repeat. When you do this, they will be able to grasp wherever you're teaching them. So you don't want to say teach your child for just 1 minute and you expect them to know it. No, it's not possible. You have to repeat knowledge. All right. Another reason why children have difficulty with blending is the way the letter sound is emphasized. I've explained this before. The way the letter sound is emphasized. Okay. The first sound needs to be louder than the other sounds. Rat. Okay. And another thing you want to do is that so when you emphasize this, when you say the first sound louder than the other sound, it helps the child remember the sound the word starts with. So because if you do not make it louder, if you say at, your child may say ta, because that's the last sound they hear. So this is very important. Okay, so another thing that you can do, all right, to mitigate this difficulty with blending is to be consistent. That's one of the reasons why children have issues with blending. You are not consistent enough. And that is one of the reasons why I start this boot camp in the first place. I've trained hundreds of parents. I have a course. I call it the Teach Your Child to Read course. It's a very, blown, comprehensive reading course. But one of the issues I notice with participants is consistency. They teach today, it's maybe next week, and it doesn't work that way. I said it for learning to occur. You have to make an impression. An impression happens with repetition. So you have to be consistent. A little blending every day is the secret. Is the secret. Okay, from time to time during the day. So you can spend 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes maybe around 11. Oh, we are not in the holiday period. So let's say your child has gone to school. Before they go, you teach them in the morning. When they come back from school, you can have a revision with them. Or if you're unschooling your children, that's excellent. They are with you most of the time. At bedtime, during the weekends, you have the opportunity you are with them. I hope that is taken. So consistency is very important. And you also want to practice oral blending with your child from the letter sounds they are being taught. Sound talk a word in an instruction. You can say, can you get Can you get me a apple? Do you understand? Can you get me a apple? And your child will say apple. That's cup. Do you get that? That's good. Oh, I do this with my children. We regularly go for walks. I take each of the one or two or three. We go for a walk, and when we are going, we point at I use it as an opportunity to teach them objects around, even numbers, animals, plants, and name it. So sometimes when we see a goat on our walkway, as we're walking, that's goat. And the so they say that's good. That's a ram. For my toddler that is still learning sounds, I can say that is g g g g. Do you see? I'm emphasizing the first sound g g g. So learning doesn't have to be regimented. You can do learning. I made a post on my platform. Was it yesterday or the other day? That you can incorporate learning in whatever during bath time, during playtime, during reading, eating. You can incorporate learning. So be consistent. So let's go to the next point, and that is teaching tricky words. That's the last step. So tricky words are words that children meet frequently and they cannot be spelled phonetically. That is, they don't obey the phonic sound rules. For example, the, she, all right, he, and a host of them. So how do you teach them the tricky words? They learn this through the concept that is called the look, the cover, write method. So you're going to put it on the flashcard. You flash it in front of the children. You tell them not to, not to spell. They just look at it. Then you cover it and you ask them to write it down. So this can be done by introducing 2 to 3 words, to them in a week. You can flash them a card or, write them on the board. You tell them don't spell. Just let them look and pronounce. You too, don't spell it to them. Look and pronounce it. Okay, this is D. This is she, they. For a few minutes, they have learned them. Then ask them to write it several times on paper. Then give dictation to reinforce what they have learned. So we usually start with D and E because it comes up in for early reading. Don't worry, I'm going to give you tasks that will show you how to do this as we progress with this boot camp. So after these, you can now start, you can start using the words in simple sentences. Yes, yes, yes. As you can see, a bug hid in the big rug. Rob can mop up the mud. Carl had jam in a bun. A sun hat. The cat is in the red box. The man pats the dog. That is the application. And boom! Your child is now a reader. Yes, yes, yes. Are you happy already? Don't worry. In a couple of days, your child will become a fluent and confident reader. Now, you need to start engaging them in reading activities. You need to start reading books to them, reading books for them, okay? And I believe that, making reading fun and interactive, it will enhance their learning experience. So, let's go to the next point in this onboarding session, and that is the daily task guideline. So, there's a guideline for executing the task I'm going to be giving you. Now, you already have a clear understanding of the structure of this boot camp. So, and you already have the knowledge about the method we're using, the methodology, the phonics method, the steps. That's what I've done in the last couple of minutes. So now let's discuss how to approach the daily task I'm going to be giving you as from tomorrow onwards, God willing. So this task, like I said, they are designed to create a fun and engaging learning experience for both you and your child. They are not something that is regimented, that will be boring to your children. No. So the first thing I want you to notice, you have to participate actively. Active participation. That's the first guideline. Active participation is key. You and your child's active participation. If you don't participate for 3 days consecutively, you will be removed. Yes, I'm telling you now. If you are here and you have paid me to hold you accountable, and I'm going to do that so well. So if you do not submit task for 3 days consecutively in the WhatsApp group, I'm going to throw you out and I'm not going to refund you. So you have to participate. It's for your own good. Yes, it's for your own good. So you need to note that. And I'm telling you that this task are not going to take you more than 10 minutes in a day. So remember, you're not a spectator here. You're not to come and observe. That's what a lot of people do. They pay for a class or they join a class for free and they just stay. They are just spectators. What my teacher used to call backbenchers when we were in secondary school. Don't be a backbencher. Don't be a spectator. You're an active participant. Don't sit down, they look. Come and participate. Do the task. Share you are required for every day. What will let me know? What will show me that you have participated? You are going to record your child. You may decide not to show their face. You may decide to show their face. You may record the voice notes, okay, audio. You may snap picture of what you have taught them. Okay, but I would really, really love if you can share the videos. You may not record their faces if you don't want their faces to be out. So when you have done this, you submit the WhatsApp group. So the Telegram group is the information group. So when you open the Telegram, if you are yet to join, the link is on the WhatsApp group that you belong to. So join the Telegram group. You will see that I've created different topics, the 4 categories. So open the one that belongs to you. If your child belongs to the burden readers, go there. If your child belongs to the page turners, go there every day. If your child belongs to two, go to the categories, look at the task, execute it. I'm going to share the task every day, 8 a.m., God willing. All right? And you have till 6 p.m. in the evening to carry out it. So let me give you till 7 p.m. All right? 7 p.m. or I might give you 8 p.m. till 8 p.m. in the evening. All right, so you have all the day. So even if your child goes to school, when it comes back, you have the opportunity to teach your child. All right, so when you have done that, you are going to submit the evidence that you have carried out the task. You are going to submit it in the WhatsApp group. Like I said, if you fail to submit the task for 3 days consecutively, you are going to be removed from the group. I hope that is clear. I'm here to hold you accountable. So to make the task enjoyable, I'm going to share few tips with you. I've been talking about consistency before, but I want you to do another thing. I want you to set a consistent time. Choose a specific time each day dedicated to the reading task. Children they are in school period now, right? You can say, okay, they return by 3 p.m. in the evening. So I'm going to take them every 4 p.m or every 5 p.m. And for weekends, you can say, okay, every 9 a.m., that's when I'm going to be teaching them. So choose a specific time each day dedicated to the reading task. So when you do this, it helps establish a routine and it creates a sense of anticipation for both you and your child. Children thrive on predictability. They thrive on routine. When they know what is expected of them, it becomes much more easier for them to comply. Another tip that I will advise you to do is to create a reading environment. There is something it does to the psyche of your child. It kind of prepares them. Find a quiet and comfortable space in your home where it's meant for reading and teaching your children. All right, a comfortable space where you and your child can focus on the reading task. Make it cozy, we can add pillows, we can put their favorites, make it interesting. Put a chair there, a table, a comfortable one. Take it away from distraction. Don't put this reading space in the high traffic area, maybe the entrance where they can be easily distracted. So this will really, really help them. So when they get there, they know that here in this space, we mean business. Like for my toddler, I'm currently homeschooling my toddler. I use my working space where I'm recording this session. I use it. I have a board here. If maybe when I record video, you could see my board. I have my white marker board here. And when we get to this space, my son already knows that this is business. We are not here to fav around. We are here for work. So another expert tip that I'm going to give you is to use positive reinforcement. So when your child something and your child is able to do it, don't just go. Celebrate it, make it a big deal. Wow, you are a confident reader. A round of applause for yourself. High five, chop knuckle, Celebrate their small victories and progress. Praise your child's effort and achievement during the task. When you do this, it will boost their self-confidence and it will motivate them to continue learning. All right. Another thing I want you to do is to make your session interactive. Use props. Make use of flashcards. Make use of toys. Get picture cards. Get items. All this will enhance their learning experience. Encourage them to participate actively by asking them questions, involving them in discussions, or to make it interesting. Another thing is make use of different reading materials. Get them different books. Make use of poems, storybooks, picture books. This will broaden their exposure to different styles of books and different genres. Another thing is to incorporate multi-sensory techniques. You know, Make the task multi-sensory by involving touch, sight, and sound. Like when I was talking about teaching them the sound, I said you should make use of action. You could sing rhyme. You should make use of flashcards. Okay, you can ask them to trace when you are introducing a sound to them. You can ask them to trace the sound with their fingers. It will help them to write when they start writing the sounds of the words. Use colorful markers to highlight words. You can use colorful markers to create your flashcards. Okay, you can read aloud with, when I give you tasks to read books to your children, you don't just read like you're casting news. Make it interesting, act it out, use different voice tones. You can say, oh, it's time for the lion to roar. Your children will laugh. When you're reading and they said that the monkey rolls off from the bed, you can pretend. I do this with my children, and you roll off on the bed. Okay, when they say, oh, the toy horse tiptoes towards the door, you show them what it means to tiptoe. All right, when an animal make a sound or a person make a sound, just demonstrate it to them. It will, it will make it interesting for them, and make them look forward to it. All right. And another thing I want you to know, another guideline is follow your child's pace. In as much as this is a boot camp, we are going to be giving you daily tasks. If I give you a task and we are supposed to move to another task the next day, and your child, even after teaching your child doesn't still get it. Don't say, oh, we are following a syllabus, you need to go there. No, you may need to repeat it till your child gets it. All right, your child is your curriculum. We are not here to play to any gallery or to compete or wherever. We are after your child's progress. So please follow your child's pace. I want you to know, I say this all the time. Each child is unique and different in their own way. And they learn at different paces, and learning progresses at different paces. So you have to be patient and allow your child to learn at their own pace. Adapt the task to suit their abilities. If I give you a task and you cannot really, you think that your child may not get it like that, or your child is advanced more than what I give you, adapt it. We are not robots here. I don't expect you to do everything I give you like 100% the same way. If you need to adapt it, do so. Adapt it to suit your child's ability and gradually challenge them as they make progress. Remember, the goal is to make learning enjoyable for your child. The goal is to foster the love of reading. Don't make it regimented. Don't make it boring. Don't make it, don't let them get afraid during learning session. Okay? Have a positive attitude. It will make a significant difference in how your child approaches learning. All right? Also, I'm going to share additional resources with you, and I wanted to know that throughout this Fluent Readers Bootcamp, I'm here to support you every step of the way. So if you encounter any issue or any problem, or you're facing any problem with your child, like I say, don't be a spectator. Participate actively. Ask questions. Coach, please, my child is not really responding. What do you think I can do? And I'm going to give you advice. I've been doing this for a while. I've been training children, parents, teachers for years of Jolly Phonics. I've been conducting online classes since 2020 during the lockdown. So I have experience. I'm the right fit for this job. So if you encounter any problem, message me. I'm going to give you tips that can help you. All right? Your success is my priority. I'll be so, so happy when you come back to me and say, Coach, this is how my child is progressing. My child can now read. My child can now talk. For parents with the little explorers. So if you have any questions, you have challenges, or you need any clarification during the course of this onboarding session, feel free to put a comment in the comment section, and I'm going to respond to you whenever I see it. And you can also reach out to me personally. I'm just a message away. I'm a DM away. You can message me on Telegram. You can message me on WhatsApp. All right. So I'm going to share additional resource with you for the reading champions, the category 4. I'm going to share a reading log with you today. I'm going to share a reading log in the WhatsApp group and the Telegram. Make sure you print it. Your children will need it to put in all they are going to be reading. All right, that's very important. And as I give you tasks, sometimes I'm going to give you share videos with you, voice notes to explain the task. All right, I'm going to share workbooks, worksheets with you, even flashcards printable. All right, I'm going to share them with you. I am so, your success is my priority, and I really, really care about your child. I care about them becoming fluent and confident readers. It breaks my heart when I see children struggling to read. And that is one of the reasons why I put out this boot camp in the first place. So thank you all for joining me today and for being a part of this onboarding session for the Fluent Readers Boot Camp. Your presence and participation, I so much appreciate it. And I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for you, for your trusting me in this journey and for your commitment to your child's reading journey. By taking this step, you have shown that you are dedicated. All right, you are dedicated. And as we embark on the 30-day journey together, I encourage you to participate actively. I've been saying, all right. And I want you to remember that transforming your child's reading skill is a process. It's not automatic. There is no magic wand anyway. You have to do the process. It requires time, it requires consistency, and it requires patience. I want you to trust the process and believe in your child's potential. All right. Each day, as you carry out the task and as you engage in reading activities with your child, remember the impact you're making, the small moment of connection, the progress you witness, and the joy of seeing your child grow as a reader. They are all worth celebrating. I want to leave you with this thought. Every effort you put into this bootcamp is an investment in your child's future. The gift of reading is a lifelong skill that will open doors, that will foster imagination and empower your child in countless ways. One of the things that I take my dad for today, one of the one of the skills that I so much appreciate that my parents give me the skill is that they foster the love of reading into me from a very young age. I remember when I was very, very young, my dad would sit me on his lap and read stories to me. He would explain it, and I used to look forward to that. And it draws my attention to the word of book so much that by the time I was in primary 4, I was already reading books meant for children in SS class. Even I was reading my uncle's aunt's book. My uncles that were in higher institution, I was reading their books. And it helps me today in my career. Whatever career your child end up in, the reading skill will really help them. They'll become better readers, confident speakers, confident listeners. They have good vocabulary, and it will really help them in all facets of their life. Thank you so much once again for your presence, and I wish you all the best on this exciting journey. Thank you, and do have a wonderful time. Bye bye.